Some years ago, in the shadowy embrace of a night that descended upon the city like a dark cloak, I had a peculiar encounter that has haunted me ever since. I lived in what I would call a relatively quiet area, where the streets sank into sepulchral silence as midnight approached. My nighttime occupation, which involved working in the shadows of the night, often led me to confront the loneliest hours of the early morning. On that fateful night, I was returning home in the company of a co-worker who had kindly offered me a ride in his car. As I stepped out of the vehicle, the frigid nocturnal wind wrapped around me, and an unsettling feeling of being watched clung to me like a cold shadow. The avenue I found myself on was deserted, a subdued echo of the city that never truly slept. My only companions at that moment were the faint lights of a solitary gas station, flickering a block away. To reach my abode, I had to cross the avenue and navigate a couple of streets. One of these streets, devoid of any witnesses but the dark parks that flanked it, lacked illumination due to the chronic failure of the public lampposts. My steps led me to the intersection of the avenue, and there I stood, surrounded by a darkness that seemed to engulf everything. A small school, oblivious to the negligence of the authorities, emitted its own exterior light in an attempt to defy the prevailing darkness. At the same distance, the intense radiance of a house heralded its owner's morning routine, which commenced at 5:30 when he would sell juices, sandwiches, and pastries. However, on that particular day, the juice vendor's window remained dark, like a star refusing to shine. The silence was so profound that it felt as though the entire world were suspended in a macabre pause. While I contemplated my path, my gaze settled on an unusual location, the basketball court situated across the street. Without a logical explanation, an invisible presence seemed to await me from that shadowy space. For an eternity that felt like minutes, my vision was lost in the writhing shadows of the court, shadows that twisted and moved, devoid of definite form or countenance, resembling figures cloaked in dark hoods or hoodies. Discerning distinctive features was impossible, as their contours blurred into the darkness. In its past, though in that paralyzing wait, time seemed to stand still. Then, the shadows ventured a bit farther, departing from the inky depths of the court. Without crouching or hiding, they moved stealthily like enigmatic entities. Finally, a point of light pierced the darkness, a sign of life amidst the oppressive stillness. The juice vendor's window lit up, a beacon in the dark. That light, like a beacon in the midst of an ocean of shadows, indicated the path to my home. With keys tightly gripped in hand, I crossed the park, keeping a prudent distance from the basketball court. Once home, I shared the disquieting experience with a family member and, exhausted from the night's tension, succumbed to sleep. I was awakened, around noon, by the blaring alarm of a news program, one of those that tended to exaggerate community events. This time, the headline was chilling: macabre scene at the basketball court, burned corpse found. The news revealed that, due to the severe extent of burns, it was impossible to determine whether the victim was male or female. Horror overcame me as I read about the gruesome discovery at the very place where I had felt the disquieting gaze of the shadows. In hindsight, I could have taken alternative routes, avoiding that dark and eerie park, but something within me, a sort of morbid curiosity, impelled me to confront the shadows, as if I wished to comprehend what lay beyond human perception. Furthermore, the accounts of others in my family added an extra chill to the story. A friend of my cousin had experienced a similar ordeal that same night. He returned inebriated from a party, too late to find public transportation home. His only option was to seek refuge in the same park where I had encountered the shadows. He sought shelter in an old abandoned van that faced the basketball court and was parked in front of a futsal court. During the early morning hours, in the midst of a deep sleep and on the brink of drunkenness, he began to hear screams and moans, akin to the lamentations of tormented souls. He awoke and peered out of the van's window, only to be greeted by a spine-chilling sight. There, on the basketball court, a scene of horror unfolded before his eyes. Sinister shadows, similar to those I had witnessed, surrounded an unknown victim engulfed in flames. He wasn't sure if he had screamed upon seeing this atrocity, but the commotion that erupted among the shadows indicated that he had been discovered. He descended from the van and, in an act of sheer instinct, raced toward freedom, desperate to escape the nightmare unfolding before him. He ran for miles along the avenue, his heart pounding in his chest like a frantic drum. Finally, he reached Puerto Rico, where the glow of streetlights provided a glimmer of hope amidst the stifling darkness. The story of that night was never fully resolved. Rumors and speculations filled the voids left by the absence of answers. The burned corpse on the basketball court remained shrouded in mystery, a nameless specter that continued to haunt our dreams. The nights that followed became uncertain and fraught with anxiety. Every shadow, every dark corner, became a reminder of what we had witnessed. While the streets regained their usual tranquility, our souls were marked by the chill of that early morning. The story of that night was never completely unraveled. Rumors and speculations swirled around, filling the gaps left by the absence of answers. The charred corpse on the basketball court remained an enigma, a nameless specter that continued to haunt our dreams and cast an eerie pall over our lives. We couldn't help but ponder who or what these shadows were, what hidden motives had driven them to commit such atrocities in the darkest hours of the night. The unanswered questions gnawed at us, leaving us with a lingering sense of dread and fascination. As the years passed, the memory of that night remained etched in our minds, an indelible mark on our collective consciousness. The basketball court, once a place of recreation and laughter, had transformed into a haunting symbol of the unknown. It stood as a testament to the mysteries that lurked in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. To this day, the truth eludes us, buried beneath layers of uncertainty and fear. The shadows continue to dance on the periphery of our perception, a constant reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved. The burnt remnants of that macabre night still cast long, eerie shadows over our lives, a chilling testament to the inexplicable horrors that can lurk in the darkest corners of the night. And so, we are left with a tale that defies explanation, a story that lingers in our thoughts and serves as a stark reminder of the enigmatic forces that dwell in the depths of the human experience. As we recount our experiences to one another, we can't help but wonder if, someday, the truth will come to light, or if the shadows will continue to guard their sinister secrets, hidden from the prying eyes of the world. Only time will tell, but until then, the memory of that fateful night remains, a chilling testament to the mysteries that lurk in the realm of the unknown.